to Memphis Light, Gas, and Water's Power Up Memphis. I'm your host, GALE JONES-CARSON, Vice President of Community and External Affairs. The aim of Power Up Memphis is to take you, our customers, on an inside tour of MLGW to share our programs and operations with you, our customers, and by doing so, we can all better understand how we function as your utility provider. Today, my guest is Freddie Mendius, who is a troubleshooter in Memphis Light, Gas, and Water's distribution support services area. A lot of times when we have outages, we get calls in the media area at Memphis Light, Gas, and Water asking, you know, what is the process? How long is it going to take to have services restored? And so I go through a step process by saying, well, first we got to make sure we're going to have the storm that you're talking about. And number two, once the storm hits, if it hits, how long or how bad the storm is going to be. And then we call troubleshooters out to go out and assess the damage. And that is what you do. You are a troubleshooter. And what exactly do you all do once the storm has hit and you all go out? What is the process? What do you do?
Well, the first thing we do is we assess the type of outage that it is. There's basically three types of outages.
Oh, okay.
Ranging from large to small, we have what's called a circuit outage, which is where an entire section of the city will be out. Major streets, neighborhoods, houses. Then the next smallest outage is called a fused line outage, and that's where just a particular subdivision will be out. The main roads, main businesses, all that kind of stuff is still on, but just a subdivision will be out. And then the smallest outage we have is called a transformer outage. That's where one transformer itself is out, affecting 1 to 4 houses.
Okay, so with the circuit outage, which is the largest outage, how many people generally are impacted with a circuit outage?
It could be hundreds of thousands.
Oh, really?
Yes, ma'am.
Wow. Okay, so you go out and you determine, you know, what damage has been done.
Yes, ma'am. Whether
it's a transformer or a circuit or a fuse. So how many customers are impacted by fuse outages?
A fuse outage is usually less than 100. It's usually like a neighborhood or a subdivision.
Oh, okay. So sometimes our customers get concerned because they will have, say, for example, on my side, on my street, just the houses, the homes on my side of the street are out, but just like right across the street, some of the customers' homes are not out. So why does that happen?
That depends on how the circuit runs through your neighborhood. Okay, your side of the street may be fed from one side of the subdivision, where the other side of the street may be fed from the other side. Just depends on how the circuit runs through your particular neighborhood.
Okay, okay. So once you go out and you determine what the problem is, what the damage is, what happens next?
Well, again, it depends. In a circuit outage, many times what we do is we will operate a set of switches around the city that will reroute the way the power is fed to that particular circuit. So we can isolate where the problem is in order for the crew to make repairs and get as many customers on as we can.
Okay, so you will still be able to do the work, but the power will be rerouted so the customers who were impacted will still have power, or they will be on sooner than having to wait for the problem to be repaired.
Yes, ma'am. Now, there's going to be some areas where the power has to stay out for our crews to work safely. In the example, like a pole being down or wire being down, those guys can't work that stuff hot. So we have to isolate that particular area. Now, that may be, you know, bigger than we like, but we have to do it for the safety of the crews.
So what determines the length of an outage?
Depends on the repair that needs to be made. If you've got a pole down and several spans of wire down, it's going to be a lengthy outage. Whereas if you just have a limb on the wire, you know, that's something that I can fix in 10 or 15 minutes.
So you say you can fix it. So when you say fix it, are you stringing new wire? Are you repairing the old wire, just making sure it's tight?
In like the example of a limb being on the wire, having the wires crossed, I can do that from the ground with a stick.
Okay.
Now, if there's wire down, that's going to take a crew. That's going to involve sometimes calling a crew into work that's not at work, them coming to work, getting in their trucks and driving out there. So, looking at an hour just to get out there sometimes.
Okay, so recently we had a storm, and one tree knocked down about 12 utility poles. So what kind of work had to be done for that?
Oh, goodness.
Because I think we got the calls around 12 or 12:30 on a Saturday, and everybody's services were restored by 12:30 the next night. And some of our customers were kind of concerned. They felt like that was a long period of time. So there was like 12 utility poles knocked down.
Right. Well, in that case, as a troubleshooter, what I would do is I would go out there and see the 12 poles are down. I would type up a report with accurate details about what poles are actually down, the pole sizes, the type of wire that's on the poles, how to get to that area, and then at the same time I would make a maintenance for tree trimmers. Okay, at that point, tree trimmers have to respond, come out, clear the tree up, while the crews are at the work centers loading up 12 poles, loading up the appropriate wire that they need, bringing all that out there. While all that's going on, we have to get locates so we can dig holes in the ground, make sure we're not digging into a water line or a gas line. At that point, the crews...
So the locator is looking to make sure that we don't hit anything underground.
Yes, ma'am.
While they're working.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
And so then the crews will come out there. Well, they have to clear up the wreckage that's there. They have to get the old poles, get the old cross arms, get all that stuff out of the way, set new poles, reconstruct the poles, get the wire in the air, and it just all takes time.
So,
especially to do safely. So
when they remove those poles, if they're still in good shape but just failed, do we reuse them? Do we get new poles? How do you replace the poles?
Most of the time when a pole is broken by a tree or a car has hit a pole, it's no good.
It's no good.
It's just replaced and the old stuff's discarded.
So we have a lot of poles in storage?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Hundreds.
Hundreds, okay. Okay. So what is this right here?
This is a 23 kV cutout switch. And this is, in the case of most transformer outages, most single outages, this is what this is the fix right here. When the power's out, this is called a barrel, and it'll be hanging open.
Okay, and where is this? This is on the
This
pole.
is 30 feet up in the air on the pole above the transformer.
Okay.
Inside this barrel right here is a fuse, and it acts just like a fuse or a breaker in your house.
Okay.
And this is what is inside the pole. This is actually the fuse, and believe it or not, there's up to 23,000 volts that run through this little piece of wire.
Wow.
And what this does is this protects your transformer from power surges, from grounding situations where you have wire down or a squirrel's been chewing on the wrong wire. And what happens is this breaks. When that breaks, this will be hanging open, okay, and that's where I'll show up, and from the ground with an extension stick, I'll reach up in the air, hit that little hole right there,
okay,
and lift this out, take it to the ground,
okay,
refuse it, reset it.
So you put a new fuse in it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Reset it back in the switch, and then close it, thus restoring the power.
And you do that from the ground?
Yes, ma'am.
And this is a fuse?
Yes, ma'am.
This is a fuse outage, which is one that will take out a neighborhood maybe?
Yes, this can take out a neighborhood. It can take out a single transformer.
So you go out and you assess it and you see what caused it, and if it's a fuse outage, you can repair that?
Yes, ma'am.
So you don't have to call out a crew?
Yes, ma'am, but before I do that, I have to ride the line out or look at the transformer to see what the problem is. If there's wire down, then I can't do it.
Oh, okay.
Because to energize that would be energizing wire that's possibly on the ground.
And somebody could be hurt. Wow. So you can actually restore power by handling the fuse problem.
Yes, ma'am.
You can do that yourself as long as everything is okay. So what about the transformers, when the transformer blows?
Well, a lot of times when people think the transformer blows, it's this.
Oh, okay.
The big boom you hear is actually this fuse right here blowing.
You are absolutely, when I talk to so many people and they hear the boom and they immediately say it's the transformer has blown.
Yes, ma'am.
So what happens when the transformer goes out? How do you know that it goes out? I mean, well, actually, I guess when you go out, you determine whether it's a transformer, a circuit, or a fuse.
Yes, ma'am. If it's a transformer outage, I'll take a visual of the transformer, make sure there's nothing wrong up there, and everything's built like it's supposed to.
So in the transformer, some transformers are up, and then we have some on the ground.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. What I do to judge whether the transformer is good or not is the same. I'll refuse this barrel, and I'll try it. If it blows, then I know we have a faulty transformer, at which time the crew will have to replace it.
Okay, so a faulty transformer will cause this to blow.
Yes, ma'am.
And so when you fix the transformer, then you'll have to go back and fix this.
Right. Just like in your house, if you've got a faulty appliance, it'll trip a breaker in your panel. Well, it's the same thing. A faulty transformer will make this blow, trip. We have to reset it.
Wow. I mean, it's just, it sounds kind of simple, but I know that it's not simple, and it's very difficult for our customers who, when their power is out, to know really, you know, what all it takes to restore power to our customers, and that we believe in restoring service as quickly and safely as possible.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how long have you been a troubleshooter?
I've been shooting trouble almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and so what are the requirements to be a troubleshooter?
A troubleshooter is a journeyman lineman, and to be a journeyman lineman, you have to have completed a 4.5-year apprenticeship program, and prior to that, you have to have 2 semesters at Southwest Community College.
Oh, okay.
Which involves electricity classes and a climbing class.
Okay, so have you ever been in a situation or been called out on a job and you couldn't repair something? You couldn't fix the problem?
Yes.
And what happened?
Yes. Well, that's where I have to create maintenance for a crew to come out and fix the problem. Whether or not we need tree trimmers, I have to include the wire sizes, the pole sizes, transformer sizes, entry points, how to get into the backyard, or you need to come in from this direction, and I'll just create a maintenance for a crew, and that information gets relayed through our dispatch office to a crew.
Well, you have really given us a lot of valuable information today for our customers, and hopefully they will have a better understanding of, you know, how we handle getting outages restored, the process of we first have to call the troubleshooter out, so the troubleshooter can assess the damage, and then from there it is determined what repairs need to be taken. So if you had any tips or messages for our customers, what would you say?
I would say that I'd let them know first off that we have Shelby County split into 9 areas, so we have anywhere from 3 to 12 troubleshooters 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
Any issues that you have, don't hesitate to call. From a safety standpoint, stay away from down wire.
Okay. Thank you so much, Freddie. We really appreciate you coming on the show.
It's been fun.
And providing this information for our customers. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
All right.
Connect with MLGW.
We can help.
Go to MLGW.com for bill payment, analysis, service transfers, outage updates, and more. Connect to us on Facebook to share comments and ask questions. On Twitter, you can give us a tweet. Connect to our blog for news and updates.
Watch how-to videos on YouTube.
Connect by downloading iPhone apps. Get text message reminders. Stay connected with MLGW. We can help.
Welcome back to Memphis Like Gas and Water's Power Up Memphis. My guest now is Cass Thomas. Welcome, Cass.
Welcome, thank you.
Cass is a gas planner coordinator for Memphis Like Gas and Water in the Gas Construction Department.
That's correct.
And so you work, Cass, a lot with the 811 call before you dig projects at Memphis Like Gas and Water.
That's correct.
Okay, so this month, April, is National Safe Digging Month. So why was April chosen for this kind of major publicity nationwide to focus on digging before, calling before they dig?
First of all, Gail, 811 is a Tennessee system, free system that the customer can call 811 and get all the utilities located in and around their property before they do any digging.
Okay.
And the reason why April is I guess a focus month, because the weather change, get warmer, homeowners decide they're going to do a lot of home improvement, planting trees, replacing mailboxes, fence posts, etc. And once that happened, the homeowners need to call 811, get all the lines located, because if they cut these lines, they can cause outages for the for themselves, as well as their neighbors, and it cause major damages. That's why their focus is in April, is because we get a whole lot of damaged utilities unlocated during that month.
Well, I was reading as I did my research that about 42% of homeowners do not call 811 before they start digging. Is it just that customers don't realize the damage that they can cause? And when you start saying digging, is it like with shovels? Is it with just planting trees or planting flowers, or what kind of work are they doing that causes this damage?
Well, any digging, and the reason why any digging, the reason why customers do not call, because most customers think it's a cost. They think when you call 811 or the Tennessee One call, it would cost them money to have their lines located.
So this is a free service.
Free service
offered by Memphis Light, Gas, and Water.
It's offered by the state of Tennessee.
Oh, the state of Tennessee. So if I call 811 and I just if I call 811 because I'm going to do some digging around my house, who do I get?
If you call 811, you get an operator. The operator would ask your name, and they would ask the location in which the digging would be done, and they would ask the intersection, like if you say 9200 Poplar.
Okay.
And they would ask, where will you be doing the work? And you say, on your property. And you ask for a locate the entire property and maybe both sides of the road. And they would ask for an intersection like Highland. And then they would give you a ticket number, which is a 9-digit number. That number, they would say the locate be good a certain date. Like it normally takes 72 hours before the locate is good, which is 3 days. So if you call today, they'll give you a ticket number, maybe a 9-digit number, and you have to write it down to keep it and say.
Oh, so they are responsible for keeping that 9-digit number that they are assigned.
Yeah, they keep it logged in on their computer.
Okay.
And after a couple of days, if you realize that there's no paint down in your yard, that utilities have not been located, then you call back and say, I called in to locate, give me your ticket number, and I need to make sure everything's located before I do any digging.
So a customer or a resident can determine if someone's been out, if there's paint
or locate marks.
Locator marks.
Yeah.
So they will put marks where they should not dig.
Right. They'll put marks where the gas, electric, phone, water, and sewer is located on that property. Okay,
so are there any like cable lines or telephone lines underground that they have to be concerned about, or just MLGW equipment?
Tennessee One call will cover all utilities.
Okay.
Cable, phone, sewer, water, Bell South cable, everything. They'll locate everything for you.
So once the locator comes out, that person determines what all is that needs to be protected.
Well, different companies send out different locators. Like MLGW send out MLGW locators. They get a ticket number and come out and locate the gas, electric, and water.
Oh, so when someone calls 811, whomever receives the call, they determine who, like Gas and Water comes, Bell South, right, or AT&T or Comcast. So they make those decisions and they come out, each company, depending on what information is given to the operator.
Yeah, the operator would get all the information. Get the address, and they would have a system set up where they'll know all utilities located around that address.
Okay.
And they would send out to the company send MLGW, send your locators out to locate utilities. Bell South, you got a Bell South cable out there, send your locator out there to either locate it or market no cable located in this area.
Okay, so customers need to do this a minimum of 72 hours work days, not weekend, prior to the work being done.
That's
They need to
correct.
give them 72 hours.
3 days notice, yes.
3 days notice before they start working.
Right. When they give you a ticket, they'll say, if you call in today, and the day is Thursday, and they'll give you 3 work days until the same time you called this in. So it'd be Tuesday at this time.
Okay, so they need to wait till at least Tuesday before they start any digging.
That's correct.
Okay, so since we have such a high percentage of customers who do not call in for whatever reason, whether it's lack of knowledge or concern that they may be charged, if they do some damage, what happens?
They can be fined, they can harm themselves, they can harm their neighbors, they can cause allergies in the neighborhood, they can cause, if they cut a gas main, for instance, they can cause that whole subdivision be without gas for a day. If they cut an electric line, they can cause allergies in a subdivision, you know, if you cut the wrong line. So if they damage the line, then they have to pay repair costs.
Wow, so, okay, so how long have you been doing this job?
Utilities, 27 years. This job here since 2010.
Okay, so since you've been doing this job, what has been the most expensive damage that you can remember that a customer caused, and how much did that customer have to pay? What kind of money are we talking about?
Well, we had an incident a few years ago. A pizza sub shop had in a strip mall. The customer was replacing the mailbox, one of the customers in the strip mall.
Just a mailbox?
A mailbox.
Okay.
He pulled up the old mailbox post and put another one in. He had to go a little deeper to put the new mailbox in. He cut the gas main. Well, the pizza sub shop owner in the University of Memphis area said he lost $2,500 during the lunch break because of the college students coming in to buy pizza and sub. He lost $2,500 in that 3 or 4 hour period that it took for us to come out and repair the gas main.
So who had to pay the $2,500?
The customer who did not call and locate.
So just replacing a mailbox caused that kind of damage?
Well, by cutting the gas main,
Yeah.
it can go to the tens and thousands of dollars.
And I say it that way because I think customers, evidently that customer didn't really think about, I'm just replacing or changing out a mailbox and didn't have any idea the damage that can be done just something you think is simple.
That's correct. Sometimes simple as planting a rose bush may cost you tens of thousands of dollars if you cut you cut like a gas main and it costs the whole allergen in the whole neighborhood, then you got to pay for gas losses.
So you said for just planting flowers or planting something, you can cause that kind of damage.
Cause major
so how
damage.
far down do people go when they're planting just flowers or vegetables?
Sometimes they go maybe a feet or two.
So you're saying so
24
just going
inches. Yes.
So yeah, so you can run into something just
Going that deep, yes.
really.
Because
Wow.
the grade, the level of the land, sometimes it get dirt get tucked off. We may lay a gas line or electric line 3 foot deep for the gas, 4 foot for the electric, and then the new homeowner may tear the building down and decide they're going to grade the land off and make it more level, and then that line may be 2 feet deep.
I can see why a lot of customers would not know the damage they could cause because they're thinking that they're not going very far down.
Right.
But tens of thousands of dollars worth of damage can be done just based on on small work.
That's correct.
So we just really need to communicate to customers, residents, the importance of calling 811 before they dig or do any kind of yard work, and just to be safe.
That's correct.
So customers are charged when they cause damage, but who makes them pay? Who makes them pay? The person who did the $2,500 worth of damage, that money was owed to the restaurant. Who makes them pay?
I imagine he filed a lawsuit against them and saying
okay.
that they caused him $2,500 worth of damages.
Okay.
And they probably work it out in civil court.
Okay, so if a person causes a major outage in a neighborhood, and Memphis Light Gas and Water has to do that repair because that person didn't call 811, is there a charge for that?
Yes. We go out and make repairs. They had to pay for our crew. They had to pay for the gas loss. They had to pay for our time and our equipment. So it could be cost, yes.
Wow, this is really some very useful information that our customers really, really need to know about. And so as we come to a close to this segment of the show, just tell our customers, our viewers, some things that they really need to know about calling 811 before they dig or do any work around their home or their business. What kind of tips would you share with them?
Okay. 811 is a free call. A lot of customers think it costs money, but it's a free call. And anytime you're doing any digging, it really is important that you call and get a locate, because you never know what's under the ground. You can cut a gas line, you can cut an electric line, phone cable, but you can cut a gas and electric line at the same time if you're digging with an auger, which can cause a fire, which can cause harm to you, which can cause harm to your neighbor, which can cause outages for your home as well as the entire neighborhood. So not only that, you can be fined for just digging in a utility right away without a locate, without a valid locate, or without a locate at all. You can be fined tens of thousands of dollars, and you can be sued, like the pizza place we talked about earlier.
Wow, thank you, Cass, so very much for sharing this valuable information for our viewers. All who are watching, please call 811 before you dig, and please share this information with your friends and your family, how vital it is to call 811 and how damaging and costly it can be if they don't call 811 and there's damage. Thank you so very much for watching Power Up Memphis. We appreciate you, our viewers. Please watch our show next month. Thank you. And now, here's a power moment to help you better understand how Memphis Light Gas and Water works to help you, our customer. Today's myth is, it's not necessary for homeowners to call 811 before they dig for small projects like installing a fence or for working in the yard, planting flowers or vegetables, because underground power lines are buried deep in the soil and there's no way to cause any damage or harm to myself or unmarked utility poles. The fact is, utility lines can be at any depth, and striking an unmarked underground gas or electrical line can be deadly. If there are plans to dig on your property at any time, whether it's for fence posts, trees, planting flowers or vegetables, home addition, or whatever, always call to get your utility lines located and marked first. Call 811 before you dig, because it's better to be safe than to be sorry. Thank you for watching.
Living comfortably during a sizzling Memphis summer? No sweat. By following a few simple steps, you can chill out and still save on your energy costs. Here's how. Have a professional clean and inspect your air conditioner every year, whether you have window or central units. Check your air conditioner's filter every month for dust buildup, because it can restrict the airflow and cause wear and tear on the unit. Set your thermostat at 78 degrees or higher for the most energy efficient operation. Each degree below this setting adds 6% to your cooling costs. Use a programmable thermostat to raise the temperature in your home while you're at work or away from your home more than 4 hours or longer. Do not place lamps near your thermostat, because heat from the lamp will cause your air conditioner to run longer. Use fans to move the air inside your home. This gives the sensation that it is 5 degrees cooler than the actual temperature. Sleep under lightweight bedding and use fans. This will allow you to sleep comfortably. Shade windows on the sunny side of your home. You should also keep drapes closed or add room darkening shades to block out the heat from the sun. Keep the outside portion of your central air conditioner clear from dried mud, debris, and grass clippings to prevent air blockage. You can also plant trees or shrubs to shade, not block, air conditioning units. A unit operating in the shade uses as much as 10% less electricity than one operating in the sun. For more energy-saving tips, visit us online at MLGW.com.
At MLG&W, we're working hard to make your life simpler. With our new prepay option, you have the flexibility to choose when you pay your bill. Pay a little each week or once a month. You're in control. And with Prepay's simple-to-use interface, you can initiate payments, set balance alerts, and track your balance and usage in real time. Plus, with Prepay, there are no late fees, deposits, or reconnection fees. Avoid any end-of-month surprises with MLG&W's Prepay system. Come into a location and sign up today.
When Mid-Southerners are faced with severe weather conditions, the best solution is having a plan of action, which includes keeping your family safe by being prepared. Here's how. Assemble an emergency kit, which should include a flashlight, batteries, a portable radio, and at least 1 gallon of water per person per day. The kit should also include non-perishable food, an extra set of clothing, shoes, blankets, and a first aid kit that includes any prescription drugs needed. If you have any special needs like life support equipment or other power-dependent equipment to maintain your health, please contact MLGW and you will be given top priority in the event of a power outage. As a precaution, you might want to consider investing in a generator or make arrangements to stay at a healthcare facility. Know where to find water. Keep refrigerated foods safe by not opening the refrigerator door often to prevent the loss of cold air unnecessarily. Protect yourself from hypothermia with plenty of warm clothes, blankets, and warm coverings for hands and feet. If your outage occurs in the midst of a summer heat wave, wear lightweight, light-colored clothing. Drink lots of water even if you don't feel thirsty. Stay on the lowest level of your home because it will be much cooler. One important thing to remember during a power outage is know your body's tolerance. If you begin to show signs of heat stroke or hypothermia from the cold, call 911 right away. For more helpful tips on managing a power outage, visit our website at www.mlgw.com.
Share the Pennies needs your change to make a change. You can help ease the burden of a neighbor in need of home weatherization repairs. Your small change is all it takes to make a big difference. You may choose to opt out anytime, but for less than $12 a year, why would you?
I'm in.
I'm in.
We're in! For more info, visit our website or call 544-6549. All you have to do is care.